So, you think you want to start a YouTube channel about your overlanding adventures. You want to get out there into the wild outdoors and explore the amazing wilderness. And you want to capture it all in an epic feature-length video to share with your audience. Those spectacular views, those unforgettable scenes of nature, epic sunrises and sunsets, those awesome campsites and dinners around the campfire, those perilous trails that only the bravest might venture. And you want to show everyone the adventure of it all. Well, let me show you the less glamorous side of this endeavor.
Good morning. It's about 5 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. We just got back from Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We had an 8-day trip through Oahe Wilderness and out to Steens Mountain. And now it's time to start the process of pulling all of my content that I captured off of all of the SD cards. Some of it's in here. Yeah. So we're gonna have a bunch of GoPro footage, a bunch of drone footage, and well, looks like I'm missing a few. I'll have to figure out where they are, but there will likely be several hundred videos on all of these little SD cards right here that I've got to start to pull off and onto the Mac and start the process of building out a timeline. Some of the footage shall actually be caught on iPhone, some of the footage will be caught on GoPros, some of the footage will be caught on drones, things like that. But you've got to build out a timeline. It's going to be the start of several nights of working on videos over the next few weeks to bring you guys something worth watching. I hope it's worth watching. But first thing I'm going to do is make some coffee and some breakfast and get started.
Why am I up doing this at 5 a.m. on a Sunday, you ask? Well, I still have a full-time job. You know, one of those things that sucks the soul right out of your being. As much as I would love this YouTube channel to be my full-time gig, it's just not going to pay the bills. Maybe one of these days. That's a story for another video. Let's stay on track. This routine is pretty much the same thing every day. Me and the dogs grab some breakfast, then it's time to get to work. You never really know what your footage looks like until you get it on the computer and start to dive into what you've got. Sometimes you end up with some truly epic stuff. You know, scenes that are so good you have a hard time cutting them down. And sometimes you struggle just to find a piece of anything, just to stitch something together that isn't embarrassing during the editing process.
It's a little too early for some of us.
95% of the content, or more, is gonna end up on the cutting room floor, as they'd say in Hollywood, because I don't think it's gonna keep viewers entertained, or there's just something wrong with the footage. Cooper hates this part too. He'd also rather be out in the wilderness.
Look at your eyes. I need to wash your face. Is it too early for you? Good boy. Oh, good boy, buddy. I love you. I love you, bear. Come on, bud. You wanna go potty? You wanna go outside and go potty? It's almost 6 o'clock now. As you can imagine, the Jeep's a disaster, but I won't probably, honestly, if I have any luck at all trying to get started cleaning this today, it'll be a miracle. It'll probably, honestly, get driven to work in a mess. I'll get most of this stuff taken out at least today, while I'm working on files and stuff like that to get some videos content going. I doubt I'll get started cleaning it until next weekend, to be honest with you. I gotta work all week, so it'll be a combination of get up early, go to work, come home at night, try and tend to the Jeep, work on content in the evenings, rinse and repeat, and then hopefully so it's Sunday now, hopefully by next Sunday, you guys will be watching episode 1 of this journey we just got back from. It's a bit of a grind. There's a little schedule pressure there, as you can imagine. And that always bums me out because I want to make the content better, which takes more time. And I'm really thinking a lot of times about backing off of trying to get content out each week and do something a little less frequent, but better production quality, better entertainment for you guys. It's a struggle. But you guys have been responding really well to 1 video a week, and it just means in post-production I can only put in so much effort and time, right? And I get better at it as time goes on, but I'm old. It's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. All right, time to get started here. I'm dragging a little today. Actually, I drank coffee. I had given up coffee after getting sick last week. But I'm back on the wagon again, unfortunately. Yeah, I'll start to work on this later. I'm going to keep copying files. It's just in between, I kick off a file copy and it takes so long. A lot of times what I'll do is while the files are copying, I'll come out here and start unloading the Jeep, try to multitask, you know. Cooper, come on, buddy. Let's go. And then that way I can try and get more done before I run out of time. Let's go, Bubba. Come on. Man, it's going to be a long week.
So let's talk about some of the problems with content once you get home and you start to unpack things. Number 1 is good drone footage. And this just takes practice. In mountain biking, we talk about TOB, or time on bike. Well, with overlanding and drone footage, it's just time with drone, or TWD. There's just no substitute. You just got to get out there and learn to fly the drone while you're driving. One of the key things to learn is don't touch the damn controls. I know it sounds crazy, but you really don't want to provide too much input because it makes jerkiness in the actual footage, and that takes the viewer out of the immersive experience because then all of a sudden they realize, oh, I'm watching a camera point of view. And then sometimes the drone just does whatever the hell it wants to do. In this example, the drone is having a really hard time tracking me for some reason. I don't know if it's the trees, but you'll also notice there's some flicker caused by the props in the upper right side of the frame. Now, there are some things that I do to try and get the best shots and they capture the best views. And you want to convey a feeling. You want the viewer to experience what you're experiencing. I'll work on another video to show you guys how I do that. But the other thing you gotta know is that you're going to crash your drone. Get over it. And bring a spare. The second thing that'll make for lousy content when you get home is getting lazy on the trail. As much as those shots from outside the Jeep look kind of cool sometimes, people don't want to just sit there and watch your tires drive over the dirt. You just got to get out of the rig and set up camera shots. Yeah, that's Noelle laughing her ass up at me. You really need camera shots coming, camera shots going, camera shots passing by, just camera shots. Now sometimes these can be done with the drone, and frankly I really enjoy doing it this way because you get a better camera shot, and the camera can actually track you as you go by. Whenever we overland with the group, the people in the group always crack up at how much I'm running back and forth from the Jeep to set up a camera, to drive past the camera, view them driving past the camera, and then run all the way back and retrieve the camera. This really makes for long days, guys. There's just no ifs, ands, ors, or buts about it. Think triple the amount of time you need for an adventure just for the filming. Oh, and this leads to the dreaded inverse capture syndrome, where you are capturing exactly the opposite of what you think you're capturing. You think you shut the camera off, but you didn't. So you end up capturing about 30 minutes of this. I won't bore you with the whole 30 minutes. Let's break down the editing phases. We start with phase 1, which is importing all of the content. Okay, so whether it's a drone, a GoPro, or the Osmo, all three of those cameras use essentially these same SD cards, mini SD cards. And you can see I have the GoPro and drone ones labeled G2, G3, G4 for GoPro, and then D1, D2, D3, D4 for drones. So those are, you see I've got 5 or 6 of each of those, and then what we do is we rotate those as needed in the field. So one at a time, I'll take the SD cards, you put them into one of these devices right here, pretty simple, and we go ahead and pop that into our handy dandy Mac right here, and that is going to allow us, boom, to actually import all the files that are here. All right, let me share a little pro tip with you here. It's a really good idea with your drones and your GoPros and your Osmo, everything that's using these SD cards. You want to make sure that their clocks are synced, their dates and clocks are synced. And the reason for that is once you have everything imported onto the computer, you can take all of those things, the drone files, the GoPro files, the Osmo files, and you can dump them into one folder that I like to call aggregate. Then you sort all of those files based on date created or time created. And what that does is it puts them all in chronological order. Now, when I go to set up my timeline in DaVinci Resolve, I can literally go in here and I can grab all of the files that are in my media pool and just dump them right into the timeline. My timeline now, every single one of those files just lines up in chronological order, and I can start to go through from end to end in that 3 hours of content, and I can start chopping out stuff that I don't want and things that I want to keep. And the only area that you have to make corrections are videos that overlap, where their time tends to be, hey, we might have started this drone video at this point, but the GoPro video starts midway during that drone flight, or the Osmo video starts midway during this GoPro or whatever it is. But you can sync those via a tool within DaVinci Resolve that allows you to synchronize the time frame of each of those things to overlay them on top of each other. So you can switch back and forth from view to view. So you may see my video, sometimes it'll switch from the drone view to the side of the car view to the Osmo view and back and forth, and it will be multiple views. That's very important because as viewers, it's very hard to keep somebody's attention for more than about 2 seconds if you just have a really long video. There's so many times I have this amazing long drone flight that's just, oh my God, I want to show this whole thing. Nobody's gonna sit through it. And so you've got to keep things moving in the video, unfortunately. Now, in my dream, I really want to make some long form videos that allow those things to play out over time. But those are going to be bigger productions, and I'm just not there yet. But anyway, pro tip, make sure that all of your clocks and dates in all of your devices are synced, and it will save you a mountain of time trying to put things together after the fact. So when do I actually work on these videos? I do have a day job, remember? So this happens pretty much every weeknight. We get home from wherever we went over the weekend. I like to try to have all of the content at least on the computer, and that means it's got to come from all the sources, right? I already mentioned the GoPro, the drone, the Osmo. But we also have our iPhones, and we still capture content on those sometimes. It's just very convenient. Now there's After Effects stuff that I have to do to get the color grading right from iPhone videos. I use a LUT that allows me to match that up. But that content is out in the cloud. And so I have to go out and weed through that and pull all that stuff down. And that will also go into a folder that I'll usually call something like Jeff phone or Noel phone, right? Something like that. You have your aggregate, I've got a dash cam, things like that. So again, I try to have all that at least on the computer by Sunday night or early Monday before I go to work. Then on Monday night, I really would like to have an entire timeline laid out by Monday night. And that means let's get everything into the timeline, as I pointed out below. And if we've done our job in syncing our devices, it makes it relatively easy. So I have a nice long timeline here to work with. But then starts the laborious task of going through and doing the initial edits and cutting things down. And that first pass is really just throwing out all the garbage. You should know that 95% of pretty much everything I lay in here gets thrown out, and I wind it down to roughly what is somewhere between 20-minute to an hour-long video. Now, that obviously depends on what we just completed. On a multi-day, adventure, a lot of times I'll have so many hours of content that I'll only take maybe the first couple of days of content. I'll lay that in the timeline, I'll start chopping it up, and I'll find out, hey look, where does this go? There's a couple of important things. How long is the video going to be? I need to tell a story, right? You need to have something to offer people that is a story that you're going to tell. And when you chop that up into multiple episodes, it takes a little coordination to tie the episodes together, right? So you've given somebody something to watch, but you didn't just completely cut it off halfway through and leave them hanging. There are certain natural points in the progression that make good breaks, right? And so you've got to find those, and you usually don't find those until you're well into the editing process. And sometimes, if you didn't really think out what you were shooting in the field, it becomes very hard to do. And I still struggle with that to this day. That's a very hard thing to do. So some of the things that help determine how long my video is going to be and how much gets included in those situations is how much can I actually get done during the week. I've been on this schedule where I'm trying to put out a video once a week, and I fail often. But my goal is to do that. Now, if I get to Thursday night and it's starting to look like, oh my God, I'm running out of time, by Friday night, I really want to have pretty solid base for my video before I start to really edit things like audio. I start to put in a soundtrack, I start to do narration and things like that, because by the time Saturday rolls around, that day disappears pretty quickly. And before I know it, I'm up till almost midnight the night before posting a video on Sunday morning, trying to button things up and get it posted to the YouTube site. All right, so once that whole timeline is now chopped down into the smallest pieces that I think I want to be able to use, right? And I've gotten rid of all the garbage that is gonna make things not go well for me. The hard part begins, and that is the music that I want to include and the narration. Now, I kind of do these together sometimes because you're dodging back and forth between the two. Sometimes I'll have chunks of narration already done before I get into the music. This part is kind of like you work your way through the video, and sometimes it takes a few times through to get it right. But music is important. So music, it actually evokes an emotion, right? It creates an atmosphere, and it tells part of the story that the video can't, right? And which is a feeling. It's amazing to watch a video play through with no music, and then you put music on top of it, and it takes on a whole different meaning. It's incredible to me how that can happen with just adding music to the video. And the type of music to pick is really difficult. I mean, I'm not kidding you. I once spent 3 days looking for one music track for one small section of video, and I was just stuck. I could not find it. And the problem is that stretch of video had multiple elements to it. Some elements were faster moving and some were slower moving. Some needed an emotion of, excitement, while another section needed emotion of calmness. And to get that out of one piece of music is tough to do. And sometimes you run into that and you just have to split the video up differently to dice those pieces up to get the right score in there and make it work. Let me give you an example. So here's a piece of video I shot up in the Oregon Cascades early in the morning while everyone was still asleep at camp. Now let's watch the same clip with music. There's just no denying. There's emotion you feel that wasn't there before the music was added. The music takes you there, to this place. It sets the tone. It guides the audience's emotional response. You can also use music to build suspense or tension. This looks scary, but let's add music. Or how about this video Noel caught of the dogs playing beat around the bush?
Get her, Cooper.
Now with music just for fun. I think you get the point. Music is incredibly powerful in the video making process. So after all this effort, will anyone ever even see or watch my video? In the years since our very first video, I've learned a lot about search engine optimization, or SEO. I've learned a lot about thumbnails and titles. But one thing I don't want to create is clickbait. I never really know for sure if a video is going to do well. I'm going to keep things honest and try to grow organically because people genuinely enjoy our videos. Some of the best content I've ever created will hardly even be seen. I know that. It's stuck in a video with low views because of a mediocre thumbnail or a title that just didn't work well with SEO. Oh, and did I even remember to ask you guys to subscribe? Man, I always forget that. Let's say the video is finally done. You've got it all complete. Intro, the whole thing. You've got a nice ending. You've added your please subscribe. Now you still got to go through the process of uploading the video. It's not over, right? And this seems simple, but there's some steps here. And frankly, I end up in the wee hours of the evening or morning, depending on how long this process went, doing these final touches. And those are the things that actually try to make sure that people are actually going to see your video, that SEO optimization that I talked about, search engine optimization. People can't find your video if the search terms they use don't see it. And the millions of people out there that sit on YouTube and watch videos, if they can't find your video, that's kind of your fault, right? So now you go through those steps. First is the thumbnail, right? You've got to create a thumbnail, and that thumbnail has to grab people's attention, without being clickbait. And that's tough to do because sometimes you don't grab images of every perfect pose and scene that you see out there when you're out in the element, right? You're just not thinking about it. You're focused on the trail, you're focused on other things. And although you're trying to film and you're trying to capture content, I can't tell you how many times I've had to pull a thumbnail from drone footage or something like that because I just didn't focus on getting a thumbnail while I was out there. And by the way, that thumbnail has to match the theme of the video. It might be a really cool pose or something with a background, but does that fit what the story is that your video is about? So that takes some effort, and unless you actually write a script and leave the house with intention and figuring out, well, this is the story I'm going to tell, and here's the picture I'm going to take for my thumbnail, and have that all planned out, which for me is very hard to do. You just kind of get what you get when you get home, really, many times. That happens a lot. The other thing is the title. The title has to actually somehow grab people's attention, or be able to something for, again, search engines to hit on, right? People enter search terms. You want your title to be able to have those things. You got to sit there and you got to think through. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll have 10, 12 different thumbnails. I'll have 10, 12 different titles, maybe 20 titles or something like that. And I'll run through those and I'll try to figure out what's actually gonna work best. So I know that doesn't seem like much, but those are the things that are gonna make sure your content actually gets seen. And they take time and they take effort to get right. Another topic for future videos that I'd like to cover is kind of the equipment that I use. Everything from the cameras to the drones to the actual computer and things that I use, the Osmo, my gimbal, things like that. I'll cover that in a different video, but hopefully this gave you a little peek behind the scenes of the not so glamorous side of this whole YouTube channel and the overlanding we do. Yes, the camping and the overlanding and the excitement is out there, but once you get home, it's a bit of a grind and it's a lot of hard work to actually get the videos out that you guys get to watch. And I'm not complaining. You know, this is a creative process. It's a creative outlet for me. I'm an engineer by trade, and I've been doing that for more than 30 something years. And frankly, I was always a more creative person, and I didn't really get to express myself through creativity at all in my career. And this is an opportunity for me as I get older to actually do just that. So thanks you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time on Goldens Gone Wheelin. Take care, everybody.